So today our guest speaker is Dwana Makeba. Dwana Makeba is a celebrity hairstylist and she is also a master loctician. So she's just going to share with us some of the information and educational material on natural hair that she actually possesses. So just want to say thank you for coming, Dwana, and speaking with our hair braiding starlets on today.
Thank you so much for having me. I really, really appreciate this opportunity.
Okay, so I just wanted to just I guess you can just go ahead and tell us about yourself and how you got into the industry and just give our girls a little bit of history on who you are.
So my
And what
name is
you do.
Dwana Makeba. I am a native New Orleanian. I'm here in New Orleans now. I have a hair salon called Beauty on the Bayou. And I also have a hair product line called Makeba's Magnificence. And my most recent project that I'm very proud of is I wrote a hair book called Makeba's Guide to Natural Hair. I have been doing hair for at least the last 28 years. And I started out with my grandmother. My grandmother and her two sisters did hair in the Ninth Ward when I was born. And I just kind of took it on from there. When I was little, my grandmother used to just encourage me with my dolls to do what she did. And I used to just try to mimic what she did. And then when I got to college, I took it very serious. I went to beauty school and I just kind of honed in my craft. And I just focused in on natural hair. That was my passion, my love, which was natural hair. And then I have locks and I became really good at doing locks. So in addition to natural hair being my specialty, very specifically locks are my specialty. I know how to start them, grow them, groom them, repair them, accentuate them, all of those things. So, yeah.
And this has led to you having some pretty high profile clients. So
Yes,
who are some of the
in my
clients that
life,
you?
in my life, I've done there's a jazz singer named Cassandra Wilson. I did her album cover. I've also done India Arie's hair and I've done Erica Badu's hair. So I don't know if you guys know those people, but I've done like a host of actors and actresses and judges and teachers and just everyday people. Like locks is what I love to do. And when I first started 25 years ago, it wasn't as popular as it is now, where like locks, you see locks all over the place right now. Everybody has them. But back then it was a little scarce. Not that many people had them and not that many people specialized in repairing them and styling them and doing them.
Oh, definitely. And for obvious reasons, because back in that time, I think it was more of a taboo thing. Locks were always a part of culture when in certain urban cities like New York, people wore locks all the time. But
True
when you
that.
get to when you get to your southern cities, if you didn't have the hair fried, dyed, and laid to the side,
And
people
I
were looking
also
at you
think
like, "What are you doing?"
I think if we go back to like the 80s and the early 90s,
Hmm.
locks were not as mainstream as they are now. Even I think
Yes.
the hair companies now have faux locks, like different versions of locks that they didn't have back then. But I think locks have come a long way. They definitely evolved.
Oh, yes, definitely, definitely. Do you have any questions for us, Lane? You have any questions about how she got into doing celebrities' hair?
Um, well, yeah, cause I heard the name Erica Badu, and my auntie really likes her. So, like, how did you get to the point where you got to do celebrities here?
So I live in New Orleans, Louisiana, and we have a very large music festival every year called the Essence Music Festival. And at the time that I was introduced to Erica, I was working as a production assistant. And then I told her that that was something that I did in addition to the production work. And she was like, she needed her hair done. And we were both here in New Orleans and I had the time. So it was like where an opportunity just came up. So that's how I was able to do that. Is being a celebrity some stylist something that you aspire to do? So whose hair would you like to do?
I think like the two sisters, Chloe and Halle Berry, because I think one of the sisters was in The Color Purple, and that's more of like a culture movie, and they had like some really interesting and unique hairstyles. So
So one of the suggestions that I would have for you is to imagine a style that you would like to do on her hair. And if you ever are like in a position to meet her or meet her on the internet, you tell her that that's a style that you had in mind for her. And then maybe she would let you do it for her.
Yeah, you never know how you meet people,
Yeah.
once it's in your heart and it's something that you decide that you want to get into, then there are certain avenues and that create themselves for you to get into certain arenas.
I stand in agreement. I totally agree with you. So
Can you tell us about your product? You have a, let's see if I can get your product here. Hold on one moment.
if I have some product here. Okay, yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
So
okay, yeah. So you can show us your product that you have and
no,
kind of
it's
let
the
us
same
see your
thing.
consistency because I haven't opened these yet, but if you can open yours if you'd like and
Okay.
show us your consistency and things of that nature and kind of like how your product, yeah, how your product works. She's going to get a jar of this. So just want to put it in the camera shot so everyone
Yeah,
can see it.
same thing.
Yeah.
So, how my product came about is I was always like buying all these different products out the store. I was always trying different products, and I ended up like mixing several products together to get the idea of what it was that I wanted. So, once I finally got the consistency of what I wanted, I looked at those ingredients and I started to try to put them together. But remember, I told you my grandmother did hair. In addition to my grandmother doing hair, she also made products as well. Now, I was too young to get her recipes. So, unfortunately, I don't have any of my grandmother's recipes. But I definitely think making the products came after her. Like, I get it from my grandmother. But I finally perfected this. I call it a locking gel because it has the consistency of a gel, but it also has coconut oil and aloe vera and some things that are healing and like promote growth and healthiness for hair. So I wanted it to be a product that was good for styling, but I also wanted it to be healthy for your hair as well. So that's how I came up with the product. And I'm working on some other product lines right now. One of the things that I'm working on is something to promote growth in hair because sometimes people come to you with damaged hair or short hair and they want it longer. So I'm working on something now to promote the growth of the hair.
Is there any way that you could put a little bit between your fingers and kind of like show us the consistency
Yes, I
of
can.
the product so you can see if it's a heavy product, if it's light, or it's a product that we can use to layer? Because products that we can use to layer are always good. And then can you tell us what we can utilize the product for? Like what are the many uses? I like a good product that is multi use. So I like
So
something I could possibly use for locks, but I like something also that I could possibly use for twist outs on
that,
natural hair.
this
So you can just show us some of the consistency of it.
This is a very diverse product. I originally created this product for locks, but once I started circulating it to my clients, they showed me other uses. For instance, it's not a heavy edge control, but some of my clients use it for their edges. I don't know if you can see me putting it on my edges right now. And then I have some other clients that use it for two-strand twist. It's light. See, I don't know if you can see it blending in with my skin. It's not so heavy. It doesn't like weigh the hair down. It's a pretty light product.
Hmm.
So I do use it for double strand twists. Sometimes I use it to comb the edges down a little bit. Sometimes I just use it on just natural curly hair. Yeah. It's a pretty diverse product.
Excellent.
But you can definitely use it for braids and for twists and for locks.
That was my next question. So, if we were using it for hair braiding, because I believe that that will be her use for the product initially on her mannequin. How would we use the product for braiding?
So you just put a little bit on your hands like this, and then you start braiding the hair. And when you get down to the bottom, you use it to make the hair smooth. So that's my suggestion to you. Just
And are
start
we talking about a natural braid or a braid
yeah,
with extensions on?
both. Both. It could be a natural braid or an extension. If you use it for an extension, it just helps to smooth the hair out. And if you use it for like a natural braid, it's a healthy product for natural hair.
Oh, excellent. So you mentioned the ingredients you mentioned, I believe, are you said coconut oil. Um,
That's
you,
the whiteness
yes. So you said coconut oil.
and
Now
aloe
at the
gel,
gel consistency, what are you how do you
aloe,
create the gel consistency?
aloe vera gel.
Yes, you did say aloe vera. Aloe vera is very nourishing to the hair. So
And then I put
that
like a little touch of honey in it to keep it that stickiness. That's the
mhm.
honey.
And honey is also just want to let Lane know is also a great bacterial, anti fungal, anti viral
It
product as
really,
well.
really is. But when I originally used the honey, I was trying to get an alternative to beeswax because I felt the beeswax was too heavy and it was staying in the locks. So that was the original intent. But then I found out about all of these other healthy qualities for the honey. So that's why I use honey.
Yes, beeswax does have the tendency to accumulate and create product buildup when you're definitely with locks because of the system and the way that locks are maintained and styled.
Mm.
So that's a great alternative. Thank you for sharing that with us, Elaine. In our product development course, you will learn a little bit more about what products are caustic to each other and what products are really good to mix together whenever you're creating your products for your clients or for sales and distribution. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of read some of the excerpts from your book um, because I think that would be useful for this segment. So give me one moment. Let me get this. So from your book, I'm reading. Let's see. So you talk about retightening and grooming. Okay, in your book. And it's saying, depending on your chosen method, you may need to retighten your locks periodically to prevent them from unraveling. This can be done by palm rolling, twisting, or interlocking. Can you explain to us the difference between palm rolling, twisting, and interlocking?
Palm rolling is when you take your two hands and you rub them together like this, and you twist like this. So that's why that's considered a palm roll. A palm roll can get loose a little bit quicker than an interlocking. Like if you interlock, you take like a crochet needle. You can interlock with something like this. Can you see this? Or you can interlock with something like this. And I also have another tool. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, no, I don't see that other tool, but I have another tool that you can interlock with, which would make them tighter at the roots, but they can also become thinner at the roots if you overdo this much. So
Okay, so can you go back to the initial
the palm rolling,
tools that you no, yeah, the palm rolling? Can you, yeah, because I couldn't quite see your hands in the shot of the camera.
can you see
So
that?
you may have been doing the motions, but we couldn't see your hands.
Can you see that?
Your I think there's a delay with your camera. Okay, now we can see.
Can
Okay,
you
go
see
ahead.
that?
Yes.
So you could take both of your hands together and you rub them, like you make a motion like that, like you palm roll the hair together. But I was saying that that's a technique. It's a very good technique, but sometimes people want their locks to be tighter and neater. And so that's a style, like if you wet your hair, it will come loose very quickly if it's just palm rolled. But if you use one of the tools for interlocking and you interlock the hair at the root, it stays tighter for a longer period of time. Like you can swim with it, you can get your hair wet with it, and it lasts a little bit longer than the palm rolling does. But the flip side of that is it can make the locks thinner. So you just have to be careful and you have to know what it is that your clients are looking for.
And then your interlocking tool. Can you show us that again?
So this is one. Can you see that?
Yes.
And this
So
is
that's almost like a crochet hook.
uh-huh.
Okay.
And this one is like a crochet needle. Can you see that?
Yes. Yes, we can see that.
See that? And you just take the hair,
Hmm.
you interlock it, and sometimes people use like a 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock
Hmm.
pattern to use
Hmm.
to make it look very consistent. So I don't know.
Yeah, it depends upon. So I always teach my students that you either go clockwise or counterclockwise. And based on whether you're going clockwise or counterclockwise, that's why it's so important. And people don't understand. I mean, so important, Lane, that when you accept a client in for locks, that you find out what pattern they has been used before on their with their prior stylist. Because if you take it the opposite direction,
It's
they can
gonna,
experience breakage.
yes, it's gonna damage the lock. So no matter what you're doing to a client's hair, I strongly suggest that you do a consultation. You find out like what their lifestyle is like. Do they exercise a lot? Do they wet their hair a lot? You find out what products they've been using, if they have any allergies, if they're allergic to any products. Like a consultation is really important when you're dealing with clients.
Yes, that's wisdom, definitely. And
And I think what you said about locks, like finding out what pattern they use, how they started their locks, all of those are important questions to ask. Yeah. If they have
yeah.
any allergies, you know.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And another
Yeah.
question I ask my current clients is, are they really their locks? Because they have beautiful like lock extensions, and you would not be able to tell that they were lock extensions. You would think that it was really their hair. So that's a good question to ask.
Definitely.
Do you have any questions for me?
Okay, well, this has been an excellent session. I'm just going to read a little more from your book because I really I love this. This is here's the thing. It's not many pages. This is such a gorgeous picture. Let me just share this picture. But it's not and just like you said, it's not a horrible amount of reading. When I say that, what I mean is just like you said, you could put your client under the dryer, and it's something that they could read while they're having their hair dry. Um, it's a booklet. It's not a book, so to speak, but it's a great guide. And so I'm just going to read a little more from your the Makeba's Guide to Natural Hair Care. Embracing my natural journey. My hair journey has been a path of self discovery, self acceptance, and empowerment. What do you mean by that?
When I first started locking my hair, it was just like I wanted to do something different with my hair. But the further I went along the journey, the more I got into making myself better. For instance, I switched up how I ate, started drinking more water, I started dressing different. Like it changed my whole life the further and the longer I was locked. And
Excellent.
I think if your clients are open to it, then it can be that for them, that it could be not just a hairstyle, but they have to choose that, they have to want that, they have to be open to that. So
Like many of you, I grew up in society where certain standards of beauty were imposed upon us. From a young age, I was exposed to chemical treatments, relaxers, and heat styling, all in pursuit of achieving what I thought was the ideal hair. Little did I know that this journey would lead me to a deeper understanding of myself and a newfound appreciation for my natural hair.
very, very true. I think now we live in a time where when we watch television or when we see magazines, we see a lot more natural hairstyles. But back then, everything was straight, lied, dyed, fried, dyed, laid to the
Lay
side.
to the side.
So I think now we don't have so much of that, but back then that's what we were bombarded with. And so I just kind of stepped outside of that box. I was looking for something different. Yeah.
So, just want to ask this young generation, Lane, do you feel any pressure to wear your hair a certain type of way?
Um, I will say yes because like a lot of people will like judge for the way you wear your hair or the what style it's in because a lot of people have of course different hair types, but like mine 4C shrinks a lot, so like people like they don't have a lot of hair. Like yeah.
And I think someone said that. They said that natural hair, they they said you say that you love natural hair, but you guys aren't liking natural hair unless it's a certain length or a certain texture. So I think a full acceptance of natural hair is still on the horizon.
I must agree with you.
Um, and the shrinkage is real with 4C hair. And as a stylist, Lane, you're going to learn how to style your 4C hair so that you can have the look that you desire and it will stay the course as well. We don't have a lot of natural hairstylists in the area that I'm in the Tampa Bay area. Few and far between, and the ones that are here aren't all that great. So, so let's just being honest. That's why a lot of people wear braids because it's next to impossible to find a really good some really good natural hairstylists in the area. So you really need to know how to work with your own hair if you're living in St. Petersburg, Tampa Bay, Clearwater, Pasco County, so to speak. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that in this area, the humidity will not allow you to really wear your hair for a extended period of time without like you going past the mirror and being like what is you can style your hair at, at 9 a.m. and it can be bomb, honey. You pass that mirror at like 1 o'clock and you like,
It's done
hold on, let's
for.
take it. This is not what I agreed to this morning. This is not what I did this morning. This is not what I endured a twist out for, sat under the dryer for. This is none of that. And so um there's a major learning curve with how to deal with natural hair in a humid climate.
I
So
agree. Here in New Orleans, we have a large population with humidity. And so I think you're right. But I also think as life and time are evolving, I think some of it is styling and I think some of it is products. But I think if you learn the perfect blend between the products and the styling, that you will be able to maximize 4C hairstyles. And I think because you have 4C hairstyle lane, you'll be able to master it on your head and then you'll be able to do it on your hair clients.
That's right. So we're going to learn some product development. We're going to learn, she's going to learn actually how her hair operates. Because the thing is that a lot of the miseducation about natural hair is the fact that there has been no education. Our hair has been covered up, our hair has been relaxed, it has been altered. So we haven't had the opportunity to really learn our hair. So it's a matter of learning your hair and then learning what works for your hair.
True that. True, true, true.
Well, if there's no other questions, Lane, do you have any other questions?
No.
Okay. Well, these are some beautiful pictures, like I say, that you have in your book. And Lane is going to get a copy of this book. And she's also going to get your product. Thank you so much for coming and sharing with us, Dwana.
Oh, thank
We
you. Lovely to meet you, Lane. If you have any questions, you can reach out. I'm available.
and so and then I think you mentioned Erica Badu, but did you mention India Ari?
I don't know if I did, but I did India's hair. I used to live in Atlanta. So that's how I ran across India's path. But yes, I did India's hair as well.
Yeah. So if you know of India Ari, hmm
You know
so
how.
yeah. So in any event, it was a pleasure. It's always a pleasure having you.
Thank you so much.
And thank you so much for sharing your products with us. Thank you for gifting our hair braiding stylist with your product and with your book. And you're always welcome at Hair Braiding Scholars.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I really, really appreciate you.
So I'm going to go ahead and end this session. And if there's no other questions, um, Lane, I will see you on tomorrow. We'll do some testing and we'll do some work on your mannequin. Okay. All right.
You,
Have a marvelous day.
you do the same.